Hi, anyone and everyone. This is Kim, the Humble Hermit from Come As You Are Oracle. I'm going to do a crow collective for today. Today is Tuesday. It is July 21st, 2026. I wanted to say January 21st. I'm pretty sure January 21st is one of my old friends' birthdays. You may follow me on the Talk the Tube, my blog, or not. Totally up to you. Take how it resonates. Take how it resonates, leave what doesn't. If it doesn't fit, don't make it fit. If some of it fits, God's kiss, we love that for you. Whatever doesn't, leave it on my table for someone else. You don't need to take on energy that wasn't meant for you. For a second there, it sounded like I wasn't saying it right. I was like, wait a minute, is that what I'm supposed to say? We got the Urban Crow Oracle by MJ Cullinane. Sorry, I'm probably going to be looking at the screen because I had a video go viral today on TikTok. And I've just been, it's like, I don't, whatever. My account on TikTok has been stagnant probably for like about a year. And every once in a while, like I get a hit. But this one has really blown up since this morning when I posted, probably like around 3:00 in the morning. I've gotten about 30 or 40 new followers, and I've gotten about 200,000 views on one post with, I think, 16,000 likes, something like that. And a lot of comments, like 50, 60 something comments. And I just love to read them all. It makes me laugh. We got one on the table. We got 3 on the table. Okay, I'm going to need a few more cards. But the first thing I got was somebody's trying to distract another person so they can leave. It's not going to work. Someone's going to figure it out. But it would be like, and it's a relationship. It's definitely a relationship. It could even be a natural distraction. Like, let me just say this. Like, let's say this couple's together and they have kids from past relationships, right? And the one person, all of a sudden, their kid, they find out they're into drugs, they get arrested. So now they got to, bail them out. Now they got to try and get them into rehab, get them into therapy. So, like, they're focused on their kid, okay? The other person wants to leave that relationship. So they're going to allow that person to be distracted by their kid so they could slowly walk away. But the thing is, it's like somebody's going to be halfway out the door, like, I mean, tell me that almost doesn't look like like that giant bird is like, and the crow's like, where the fuck are you going? What are you doing? What are you doing here? Oh my gosh, I love it. I do. I love it. I never would have looked at that card and thought that before. Never. Okay. We're going to do 3 more shuffles. 4 on the table. Oh. 5 on the table. Last shuffle. Someone, I don't think it was abusive, But someone's trying to leave a relationship that it's like one person is too tyrannical, maybe is a good word. We got 6 on the table with bottom of the deck. Well, if this person actually leaves, that other person will be grief-stricken. Even if there is some type of like abusive nature, not necessarily abuse, but like control issues, you know what I mean? Even if there is some of that, that other person is going to be devastated when somebody leaves. And this person who wants to leave knows that it's going to cause like some chaos. Let me show you what we got. This is a little different. Distraction. I wasn't expecting this, but the funny thing was I pulled cards this morning. I pulled decks because I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do. And I was like, I'm going to do an oracle. I said, but what am I going to do? And I was like, I'm doing the Crow Oracle. Come on, Crow Collective. It's time. This is why. Like the first 3 cards just popped out, you know? It's always meant to be. It's always meant to be. Preparation. You will never convince me otherwise. Exposed. Dominance. Commitment. Teamwork. Bottom of the deck. Feminine, masculine, take how it resonates. So like I said, with this dominance and this commitment, like somebody was controlling in a relationship, okay? Teamwork technically should have come out in the reverse, but I'm just going to say it like this. They might have thought that they weren't controlling. They may have thought like, oh, we work as a team. And somebody else is like, no, this isn't a fucking team. Like you nitpick at everything I do and you control me and I just need to get the fuck out of here, you know? And that's what somebody wants. You know, the person that wants to leave, that's what they want. They want a relationship with teamwork. You guys know, if you follow, if you subscribe, I used to talk about it all the time. I haven't really had to talk about it. Not really, but 50-50 is not a real thing. You each need to be putting in 100% into a relationship. There's no such thing as 50-50. You can argue with me if you want to argue with me. I just do not believe that at all. I mean, I was married. I have been in relationships. 50-50 is not real. You have to be in it 100%. And here's the deal. There are times when a person isn't going to be in it 100%. And the other spouse is going to have to pick that up. So if one spouse can only do 70, someone's going to have to do 130. But that's what marriage is all about. That's what commitment is all about. If you want some examples, I can give you easy examples. Pregnancy, you know, like technically the daddy-o or mommy too, if, you know, we're talking lesbians, whatever the case, doesn't really matter. Should be picking up the slack while the mom is healing, right? Bonding with baby. The mom should not be coming out of the hospital, giving birth to a baby, and having to come home to a house that they have to clean, they have to cook. I remember I saw a video on TikTok about a woman who literally was home, I think like 2 days, and the husband's family was coming to visit, and he literally was like, you need to get up and clean the house, and you need to start making food for my family. And she was like, are you kidding me? And here's my thing. If his family was worth anything, they would have come to visit. And if they got a whiff of that type of behavior from their son, whatever, they should have kicked him in the ass. You don't do that to your wife 2 days after she gives birth. Like, that's fucking ridiculous. Oh, that video, like, and I've never even been pregnant. But that's the thing, right? Like, as a woman, I have wholehearted respect for women that get pregnant and carry and have babies and raise children. Because even though I never had kids, I'm sure that part of the reason why my mom had issues is because she had kids young. She had to raise two kids. She didn't know how to raise kids. She didn't have a good example from her parents. She did the best that she could. I can acknowledge that. I'm not an idiot. For all the things that my brother and I went through with my parents growing up, like, I can acknowledge that, yeah, she wasn't the best parent, but she did the best she could. Other things is like when your spouse is sick or when your spouse has had surgery, stuff like that. Like, you have to pick up the slack. And it doesn't matter, male, female, two males, two females, it doesn't matter. You pick up the slack. That's the whole point of being in a commitment. Like, someone is supposed to be your support, your backbone, right? But whoever this is, they don't really feel like they get that, because they feel like they're just so under control. They're under somebody's thumb. Take how it resonates, but every time I look at this preparation card, because whoever this is that wanted to leave, I'm just going to say it. Like, I keep looking at this card and I keep seeing years. Like, years. Like, somebody has been preparing to leave for years. 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. Like, somebody literally is going to get caught in the act. Like, and they've been waiting to leave for a long time. I'm not going to say that I don't sympathize or I do sympathize. I'm very much in between on this, because my thing is if you're unhappy in a relationship, and this says commitment, right? This doesn't say marriage. Could it be a married couple? Of course it could. Divorce is not easy and it's not fun. However, as someone that has gone through divorce, albeit relatively easy divorce, thank God, but as somebody that has been there, as somebody who has witnessed others go through that, I would rather get the divorce and go through the messiest ass divorce than spend the rest of my life like this. And I didn't have that, right? Like, that's not really what the ex-husband and I were all about. There were other issues there. And just the fact that, like, I literally just had the epiphany that him and I, although I love him dearly and will always love him dearly, we weren't supposed to. Like, we just weren't. And the signs were there and I ignored them. I would rather get another divorce than, and let me tell you this. The ex-husband and I, we were together for about 10 years. We were married for almost 7 of them, okay? The summer before our 7th anniversary, we separated. If I were to get married again, get into a relationship, get married again, and I realize, like, 6 months in, a year, 2 years, that it's not working, that it is not at all what I thought it was going to be, that the person changed, whatever, I changed, right? You bet your ass I would be out the door. Because I've said to you guys before, even with the ex-husband and my first marriage, I felt like I knew, but I waited. Like, I knew, and I kept thinking, like, oh, it'll get better. Like, this is just what happens in marriages. No, no. Pick your ass up and get the fuck out of there. I'm not talking about abusive situations, although there are organizations and groups that can help abused women and men get out of relationships. So I'm not saying it's easy by any means, but I'm saying there is There is help out there for people. Because if I have a relatively normal marriage, it just, just the feelings weren't there, it wasn't meant to be, that kind of thing. I can only imagine how it would feel trying to get out of a marriage being abused and feeling like you can't get away. But I also know that I would get to the point where I would be like, okay, I need to seek help. I need to get help because I can't do this. I think part of the problem with people leaving abusive relationships and marriages, men and women, is the fact that the law just does not support the victim, the survivor. It really just does not. Like, if you really sit down and think about it, the laws do not support them at all. It's really actually sad and depressing. I mean, think about all the people that stay in marriages because they don't want to get a divorce. They don't want to pay for a divorce. They don't want to pay alimony. They don't want to pay out half their 401k, whatever the case. People just stay in marriages because it's cheaper. It's easier. I remember last year there was an article. I don't remember who it was through, but it came up on my Facebook. So maybe like, I don't know, is the Tribune still a thing? Or am I thinking of the Sun-Times for Chicago? I can't remember. The New Yorker. I followed the New Yorker on there. Maybe that was it. It was an article about how like 70% of couples that want a divorce just stay in their marriage and live separate lives. I understand the whole, like, it's expensive and splitting up the assets and all that. But if you're going to stay married and then just live your separate lives, then what's the fucking point? Get the divorce. Because I feel like at that point, if you are technically separated and you're living separate lives, you just live together in the same house, but you're no longer married, right? Spiritually, physically, sexually, then just agree. Just get a lawyer, agree on everything, split it the best you can, and go your separate ways. That article really kind of shocked me. I know it was last year. I want to say it was like September, October. I saw that on Facebook. I can't imagine it. Because when I finally woke up and I talked to the ex-husband, I was like, I'm sorry, but I can't do this. Like, I'm done. Like, I ain't got nothing left here. Like, I was not in love with him. And I'll be damned if I'm going to stay in a marriage and be like, oh, okay, let's see other people. I'm not doing that. I'm just not doing that. It's just like when married couples have open relationships, when married couples are polyamorous. I believe everybody should have the right to live their life the way they want to live it. I just don't understand what the point of being married is at that point. Like, what was the point? You're going to cheat on each other. You're going to cheat on each other with each other. I don't get it. I just don't get it. And again, you live your life however you want to live it. I'm not going to judge it. I just don't see it for myself. And I just don't understand it for myself. You know what I'm saying? Anywho, kind of went off topic there. And now this video is going to be like 80 minutes long and it's never going to load. Freaking YouTube. And I just realized I should check for an update. I checked, I don't know if it was this morning or last night, but there was nothing. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I feel bad, but I don't feel bad for this person because you're preparing for years to leave. Like, just leave. And then they get caught, right? Like, they get energetically caught. It could have been something as simple as, somebody's looking at somebody's phone and seeing a text like, hey, did you leave Sue yet? Hey, did you leave John yet? Like, are you free? And somebody could be like, you're going to leave me? It could be something so simple. There is, take how it resonates. I don't think this would typically be the case, but there is a possibility for someone to reconcile if there's actually a deep, meaningful conversation. Like, hey, you're too controlling. I'm suffocating. I'm going to leave. If we could work together more, if we could be more like a team. I think I'm going to leave it there. I think I'm going to leave it there. I hope it does not resonate, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you were entertained. I hope you all have a lovely Tuesday evening. What a reading. I'll talk to you later. Bye.